everyone, and welcome to this week's video. I am still very much in a book slump, but that did not stop me from buying, I think, 7 books today. Book shopping. I was meant to film it to do like a bookish vlog, and then I completely forgot to do that. So I'm doing this instead to combat the fact that I've just spent a lot of money on books. I thought I would get them off my TBR straight away and do a vlog where I just read all of them. Just straight off the bat, I bought them. I will read them this week, hopefully. So, the books that I got, here they are. I bought The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. I think this is the first one in the set, and if it isn't, I'll read whatever the first one in this trilogy is, because it's like interconnected standalones. So, if this isn't the first one, I think it is though, then I'll read whatever the first one in that set is, because I have all of them now. I also bought those recently, which I shouldn't have done, but I did. On that note, I did buy Life's Too Short, so again, I think one of these, I don't know which one's first actually, I have no idea. So whichever one of these is first, I'll read that one first obviously, and then the other ones. These two will definitely be in this video, I don't think. Now that I think about it, I think the Happy Ever After playlist might be the middle book, so maybe I'll read that one. Either way, 2 of Abby Jimenez's books will be read in this video. Then I bought 2 thrillers, really randomly. I don't read thrillers, so I don't know why I bought them, but I did. Both by Steve Kavanagh. I bought the 13, which is like a serial killer is on the jury for his own case, so someone has been wrongly accused and he's got to convince the rest of the jury that this guy is actually guilty so that he can get away with it. And then Accomplice, The Accomplice, which I think is a killer's wife, is on trial, I think. So my friend recommended these to me the other day and I was like, yeah, I need those, and now I have them, so I will try to read these. But again, if they freak me out, because I am easily scared, I probably won't read them, or I will read them extremely slowly, so they will be at least started in this video. Then I bought Viral by Helen Fitzgerald. This one is, I think someone gets a bit spicy on holiday and it goes really viral because a video of it gets put online, and she's just dealing with the aftermath of that and like the consequences of it going online. So, but this one's quite small, so maybe I'll start with this one. This is the one that I think has the best opening line, if I remember rightly. Let's have a look. I sucked 12 cocks in Magaluf is the first line of this book. So intriguing. I think I'll start with this one. This is the one that's been on my wish list longest, and I was like, maybe, you know what, I don't know really what it's about other than that. I think I literally saw the first line in a TikTok and saved it in my Amazon wish list, so might start with this one. And then I think it was a Destiny Sidwell vlog. I saw her pick this up and I was like, yeah, I need that. I'm in a destructive mood this week. I've had a lot of health issues, and my way to fix that is to buy lots of stuff I don't need, hence the book haul. And I also bought another like Harry Potter 1 set, which will be on my wall hopefully tomorrow, so you'll definitely see that soon. And I bought a K-pop album, which was far too expensive for what it is, but you know, I have it now. I bought The Breakup Pact by Emma Lord. This one I think is 2 people's breakups go viral. I theme here, lots of viral stuff. And then they fake date to like reap the benefits of it. So, cheeky little romance. Also, all these books are so floppy. I'm so happy. I don't know what it is. Amazon's books have been so floppy lately, and normally they're really stiff and horrible. So love that for me. And then the last one I actually picked up from The Works, which again, it's like decently floppy, which is Fair Rosaline by Natasha Solomons. This is a retelling of Romeo and Juliet from Rosaline's perspective, where Romeo does stop being interested in her for a 13-year-old, which when I studied Romeo and Juliet in school, I was a big Romeo hater, because that is a child, my dude, back off. So I'm actually really interested in this. Like, the last Romeo and Juliet retelling that I tried to read was My Dark Romeo, and I hated it DNF'd it at 100 pages, was not interested. So hopefully this is better, because it is one of my favourite like classics. I don't know if it counts as a classic, surely it does, but that is one of my favourites to rip apart basically. I love tearing apart literature, like old literature. It's just fun, isn't it? Especially when it was school related and I had a classroom full of people to rebuttal. So I hope this is good. I have high hopes for this one, but I've also heard nobody talk about it. So is it a new release? I have no idea. Well, it says 2023, so maybe it's not. Maybe it's just not popular. I have a little look-see and see if I can find anyone else reading this or like reviewing this or when it came out, because I think this sounds great. Like, it's a realistic telling from Rosaline. Who wouldn't love that? So this is a contender for the first one that I'll read, but we'll get to that in a second. So in my attempts to read some of these books, I think I'm going to try 4 this week and 4 next week. I started Viral and I got, I think, 120-ish pages in. Just not for me, this one. The writing switches between first and third person, which my brain did not like. I did not like. So I think I'm just gonna call this one quits and DNF it. Probably a hard DNF just because of the writing style is not for me. And the plot, I don't know what I was expecting, but it just isn't hitting. It's more like following this girl's family after she's had the scandal and she's like run away. So it's just not for me. So DNFing this one and moving on to Fair Rosaline, which I'm quite excited for. If this isn't funny, if this is not a funny book, then this might be a DNF as well, because my expectations for this are pretty high, because I love a good Romeo and Juliet story. And I think Rosaline is a really good character to have the perspective of, because obviously she's not really in the play, like, basically at all. Like, she's just like Romeo's first love interest that he moves on from extremely quickly. So yeah, I hope this is good. This one is by Natasha Solomons. And if you're a UK girly, this was in the works for, I think, £3. So if it's good, go pick it up, because worth it for the money. So I have since finished Fair Rosaline, and I did enjoy it. Not as much as I thought I would though. Like 150 pages of, like, the final 150 pages of the book was very much just about Rosaline trying to stop Juliet from being with Romeo, and so it was like almost a beat for beat retelling of the play, which is fine. I knew that would happen. Obviously that is the primary story that this is obviously based off of, but it was boring. Juliet was annoying. I hate Romeo, always have, always will. And he very much was the villain of this story, which is how it should be. Romeo is awful. He's a pedophile. He's a grown man trying to get with a 13-year-old. Dodgy man, dodgy. So I knew that would happen. I loved the character of Tybalt. He was Rosaline's best friend in this. Obviously they're cousins. He's Juliet's cousin. That's just how he's in the original play. And he was just great in this. And then he just out of nowhere asked Rosaline to marry him. And I was like, your cousins, like incest. So various bits of this, like, just fell flat for me. But it was overall, you know, 3-star, pretty middle of the road. I did enjoy it. It was written in like an old-timey Shakespearean kind of way to fit that aesthetic, which I loved. It was beautifully written. I ended up highlighting it. So I ended up getting, I think I did read this in one day. I stayed up late to finish it last night. But I just thought I'd share this with you, because this is what made me think, yeah, I'm going to highlight this. This is going to be like an annotated book. It says, her parents had been a pair of candlesticks purchased together, twinned on either side of the mantle, perfect in their polished symmetry. Now only her father was left, and alone he looked wrong, skinny and lost. So pretty. So 3 stars for this. Did finish it in one day, which is kind of good. Yeah, pick it up if you like Romeo and Juliet. I do love studying the actual text. Obviously not a fan of the actual story, so I did enjoy that. I have then attempted to start 13 by Steve Kavanagh. I thought I'd switch it up with a thriller. It's okay so far. I'm only, I think, 2 chapters in, so not even 20 pages, but I'm just not feeling it at the moment, so I'm probably still going to keep trying to read this, but similar to 1984, which I've been in the middle of for a few months now. This will just be an as and when. I'll read a few chapters, I think, so won't necessarily be in this video. And then I thought, because I always like doing my videos in sets of 3 books, I'm going to try and read The Breakup Pact today and tomorrow, as I need to edit and upload this tomorrow, so I need to very much speed read this, and it's nice and small. I think it is over 300 pages, let me check. Just about, I think it's about 307 pages, 307. And I should, you know, rom-coms are easy to get through, way easier than a thriller, way easier than Shakespearean text. So this should be, hopefully, the win of the video. If it's not, then I will eat my words later. But I'm going to try and read The Breakup Pact. So I have finished all the books for this week's video. Let's do a quick week wrap up for... I mean, it's 4 books that I'm going to talk about, but I've really only read 2 of them, so I don't know how this video is going to turn out, because obviously that's not a lot of content. But let's talk. So I started the week on Monday with Viral. I got about halfway into it, and I decided to DNF. It switched from first person to third person quite often, like every few chapters or every chapter, which was just a bit jarring for me. I don't tend to read third person often because it's just not something that I enjoy. It's not for me, which I think is quite like a common opinion in the booktube space, so hopefully you guys are with me on that. And I don't know what I was expecting, but it just wasn't what I anticipated. So the basis of this one is that Sue, I think she's 18, goes on holiday with her sister and her sister's friends. She's very like reserved, like not very out there, and she ends up getting recorded doing what is essentially an orgy in a club, a public space. It gets recorded, goes viral, hence the name, and obviously that is damaging, that is not okay, and so she runs away. And a lot of what I read was following like her mum, trying to like sort things out, find out where she's gone, find her, try and shut down the whole thing, get all the videos deleted, which is a mammoth task and wasn't likely to happen. So, but it just wasn't for me, so I did DNF this one. Maybe I'll go back to it, but I think it's a hard DNF for now. Yeah, my opinion on third person writing isn't likely to change, so unfortunately I will probably end up unhauling this at some point this year. Then I read Fair Rosaline, which is a Romeo and Juliet retelling from Rosaline's perspective. It definitely subverted my expectations, I think is the right phrasing to use, in that obviously very familiar with the Romeo and Juliet story. At this point, who isn't? And I did enjoy the bits between Rosaline and Romeo, and Rosaline and Tybalt as her best friend and closest cousin. I thought it was really well written, but then the last 150 pages were just her trying to split up Romeo and Juliet, and I didn't like Juliet, I don't like Romeo, and that's opinions from the original play, not just this book. So this was good. I did end up annotating it because it was just beautifully written. I do recommend it if you enjoy Shakespearean work, because it is written in that style. But I ended up giving this a 3. I'd probably say 3.5 is more accurate because I did enjoy it. It just had a few, like, I was getting bored towards the end, yeah. So 3.5 for Fair Rosaline, but I do recommend it, and it is very cheap. Pick it up because in the works I think it was £3. So if you're a UK girly, recommended. Then I attempted to read 13 by Steve Kavanagh, which is essentially a serial killer is on the jury for what should be his trial. So someone has been incorrectly arrested for all of his murders, all of his killings, and he gets on the jury to make sure that that person does get arrested fully, and he gets away with it, basically, I believe is the plot. And I did not make it very far. I made it to page 16, and again, this I think I will pick up again. This is a soft DNF for now. Like, I'm going to slowly trudge my way through it, similar to what I'm doing with 1984. This just isn't a genre I read often. I picked it up as a bit of a, maybe I'll get into it and try different genres. So I will eventually read it, I think, just not right now. I'm not in the headspace for it. So another DNF. And then I read The Breakup Pact by Emma Lord, and I ate this up. It's so good. The plot of this one is that our main characters, June and Levi, both go through very public breakups. I think June ends up having a full breakdown on a TV show that her boyfriend is like the subject of, or her ex-boyfriend is the subject of, and goes viral as Crying Girl. And then Levi is dating a public figure. I can't remember what his girlfriend does, but she's a very public person, and he gets cheated on. So obviously that goes a bit viral. And then they fake date to get back at their exes. They deem themselves the revenge exes. And it is meant to be a mutually beneficial arrangement where June's cafe, Tea Tide, gets publicity from it, and Levi can get back together with his ex-girlfriend over it, make her jealous, make her want him, and obviously they end up falling in love. And it was just so cute because they're like not necessarily childhood friends to lovers, but like high school friends, so it was just really cute. And there was the added element of June's sister had passed away. They were obviously both close with her sister, so that was just, I think this was really well done. It was only about 300 pages, so nice and easy to get through. I binge read this, it was so beautiful. Highly recommend. I think this is a new release as well. It came out recently, I think. I'm now checking. Yeah, so I think this came out over the summer. I saw Destiny said, well, pick it up, I think, which is where I then decided I was going to pick it up, just based on what she said. But I do recommend this. I think I'm going to give it a 4.5, like 4.75. It was so close to a 5, but I just didn't get the 5-star feels. If you know what that is, like if you have the same thing, then hopefully you know. But yeah, so this was great. Maybe upon a reread it will end up being a 5-star, but who knows. I just thought they had such great chemistry. I don't think I'll stop thinking about this. Maybe I'll bump it to a 5 at some point, because I do that sometimes. Like the story Life of AJ Fikry, I gave a 4-star originally, and then I didn't stop thinking about it, so I think it's a 5-star. So I'm so happy with this one. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week with, I think it will be my August wrap up will come next, so I'll see you then. Bye!